Keeping Up with the Parkers. Memory quiz. Listen to the story, and at the end of it, have a go at the 12 questions in the quiz to test your memory. Good luck. The orange glow of the streetlights flickered as the neighborhood buzzed with excitement. It was 1978, and the Thompsons' annual house party was the social event of the season. The avocado green shag carpet was freshly vacuumed, the fondue pot bubbled with melted cheese, and the record player spun the latest Bee Gees album. Janice and Richard Thompson had spared no expense. Their home was their pride, a split-level masterpiece with a newly installed natural stone fireplace, and they intended to remind their neighbors just how well they were doing. Every detail was designed to impress. But then again, that was the way things worked in Cedarwood Court, a street where friendly competition was as common as backyard barbecues. Among the guests were the Parkers, the Thompsons' closest neighbors and their greatest rivals. Tom and Linda Parker were always one step ahead. When the Thompsons bought a brand new Rover, the Parkers drove home in a Porsche 928. When Janice planted roses, Linda transformed her backyard into a botanical garden. Even their children were caught in the unspoken battle: who had the highest grades, the best Halloween costumes, the newest toys? And tonight, the competition continued. Janice swept through the party, flashing smiles as she handed out glasses of chilled Chablis. Linda Parker trailed behind her, subtly adjusting the hem of her sequined dress, making sure her outfit sparkled just a bit more than Janice's. The men huddled near the bar, whiskey glasses in hand, debating stock options and the latest property prices. The night was in full swing when Richard clinked his glass, drawing the guests' attention. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced with a broad grin, "Janice and I have a little surprise. We just returned from a trip to London, and we brought back something truly special. Something that's going to change the way we watch television." A hush fell over the room as Richard motioned toward the living room. There, sitting atop their mahogany entertainment console, was a gleaming new VCR. Gasps filled the air. A video cassette recorder, right there in Cedarwood Court. It was the talk of the national news, the future of home entertainment, and the Thompsons had beaten everyone to it. Janice beamed. "That's right. No more missing your favorite shows. No more waiting for reruns. We can record anything and watch it later." Linda Parker, standing beside her husband, maintained a tight-lipped smile. Tom, however, nodded thoughtfully, rubbing his chin. "That's impressive," he said. "Very impressive." The rest of the evening buzzed with chatter about the miraculous device. The Thompsons basked in the admiration, watching as guests fawned over their latest victory in the neighborhood competition. But as the party wound down and guests made their way home, Tom and Linda Parker lingered. As Richard and Janice walked them to the door, Tom clapped his friend on the shoulder. "You know," he said, "we were going to wait until next week to share the news, but now seems like the perfect time." Janice's smile faltered slightly. "Oh?" Linda laced her arm through her husband's, her eyes twinkling. "We just bought a Betamax." A stunned silence fell over the doorway. Betamax, Sony's sleek, high-quality video format. It was rumored to be the superior technology, even if VCRs were more popular. Tom grinned. "Picked it up yesterday. The salesman said it's the next big thing." The Parkers exchanged knowing glances before bidding the Thompsons good night, stepping out into the cool evening air. Janice and Richard stood in the doorway, their triumphant moment slipping away. For the first time that night, their VCR felt a little less special. As Richard closed the door, Janice sighed. "It never ends, does it?" Richard chuckled. "No. It never does." They stood there for a moment, the hum of the Bee Gees still playing softly in the background. Then, Janice laughed. A full, genuine laugh. Richard raised an eyebrow. "What's so funny?" She shrugged, shaking her head. "We just spent an entire night competing over, what? A video machine? A car? A garden? And for what? To be better than them?" Richard leaned against the doorframe, considering her words. Then, slowly, he smiled. "You know what? You're right." She slipped her hand into his. "I think it's time we stopped worrying about what the Parkers are doing. That night, the Thompsons sat together on their perfectly arranged living room sofa and watched the movie they had recorded, without a single thought about whether it was playing on the right machine. The moral of the story: the race to impress others never truly ends. Happiness comes when we stop competing and start enjoying what we already have. Now you have heard the story, pause the screen and give yourself a little time to take it in. When you are ready, continue to the memory quiz. If you struggle with the answers, listen to the story again and try to remember the questions. Thanks for completing the quiz. Much appreciated. Final score breakdown. Now let's see how well you did. 0 to 4 correct. Average. 5 to 8 correct. Very impressive. 9 to 12 correct. Excellent memory powers. Comment on your score below and tell us how you did. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.